Coming up in a new edition of the Lowell Rickert Show, we got big news out of Philadelphia regarding the Philadelphia Phillies. We got some World Cup to talk about as USA and China faced off today in the quarterfinals. Some Penn State recruiting news. And also, I want to talk about my recent missions trip I was on with the church, with my church that I help with. So, without further ado, your host, Lowell Rickert. Good evening, sports fans. This is Lowell Rickert, and welcome to another edition of the Lowell Rickert Show. Sorry I haven't done any videos lately. I've been busy, and this is a slow time of the year, but we'll try and do some once in a while. We got big news out of Philly with the Phillies. Also, we'll talk about the draft yesterday, especially with the Sixers. We'll talk some Penn State recruiting. They got some recruits. We'll talk World Cup. We'll give a shout out to the Nolensburg softball team on a fantastic season they had. A player was recently named State Player of the Year in Class A and just got another couple other accomplishments, accolades this week. And we'll have maybe some more stuff, but we'll talk. At the end, we'll talk about the missions trip. Let's get with the Phillies. Big news today. 3:30. They announced that Ryan Sandberg resigned as manager of the Phillies. Ruben Amaro, the GM, went to the Phillies about 3:15 and told them about it. He didn't decide. Sandberg didn't decide this until 7 o'clock this morning, from what they were saying on Comcast Sportsnet Philadelphia. I'm half and half, kind of shocked, but not shocked really. And to me, Sandberg was put in a tough spot because this is Ruben Amaro. This is Ruben Amaro's stamp on this team, on the moves that he's made since being GM, being promoted to general manager in 2009. And if you take notice, 2009 they won the World Series. 2008 Pat Gillick GM. 2009 Amaro takes over. They get to the World Series. 2010 they get to the League Championship Series again, lose. 2011 don't get out of they lose the first round. 2012 struggle. Well, they win the division in 11. They were 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2011 they lose to the Cardinals. Ryan Howard gets hurt. And now this is where they're at now, worst record in baseball. Sandberg had no chance to succeed, in my opinion. Now, some of the moves that he's made lately, like putting Maikel Franco at first base, when he's not a first base, he's a third baseman and has done very well. Why would you move him to give? This was against the Yankees where they gave Howard a break. Messing around with Darren Ruff, they just recalled him. They send him back down, bring him up, send him back to. He needs to play somehow. Also, Cody Ashe, they had him at third base to start the season. Send him back down to learn to play left field, bring up Maikel Franco for third base. They could have done this at spring training if they wanted Cody Ashe to play left field. That's what spring training is for. Felipe Almonte trading for Cliff Lee twice. Felipe Almonte, what's happened? He's no longer in the organization, and I think his baseball career is over. He has struggled since the Phillies got him. Traded Hunter Pence. I think that's the biggest mistake they made. Their outfield is Dominic Brown tonight. overrun second base, gets thrown out. They had a rally going in the ninth inning against the Nationals when he gets thrown out and make the last out at third. They wait too long to bring up prospects, aka Ryan Howard. They waited too long to bring him up. Obviously, overpaying Ryan Howard. The only guy that they actually gave a big contract to that has lived up to the billing has been Cole Hamels. But he struggled his last 5 starts. It's just a culmination. It's just some moves. Roy Oswalt, what they had to give up for Roy Oswalt. It's just some of the moves they made that they depleted their minor league system, and you're seeing what's happening. They have Aaron Nola, J.P. Crawford, Eflin, and an stud outfielder in Reading right now. How long are they gonna wait until they call them up? I think Crawford and Aaron Nola are ready. They need to get these guys up. I don't care if they got if they got to take on and pay them the major leagues whatever they're worth. If they're ready, bring them up. If you're rebuilding and you're starting to rebuilding now, do it. But in my honest and humble opinion, Ruben Amaro should have had a press conference right after they were done with Sandberg today, and announced Ruben Amaro fired as general manager because he just made some bonehead moves after bonehead moves, and you see where they're at. This is the worst state I've seen since I've been a little kid and followed the Phillies. This is the worst I've seen the state of Philadelphia Phillies right now. They struggled in the late '80s and most of the '90s and early 2000s. This is the lowest of the low, I think, in the history of the franchise right now. There's reports out in a couple weeks they're going to hire Andy MacPhail as president of the Phillies, and he's going to needs to get a new manager. And I think Ruben Amaro is done. I think he's going to be done by the All-Star break. But don't wait till the All-Star break. Fire him now because he's the cause of the problem, in my opinion. Enough from the Phillies. We'll talk some Sixers now. Well, actually, we're going to take a break because I want to do some. I need to get some research here on the Sixers picks. They made a nice move at number 3. Made one good pickup out of the 5 picks. Made a decent pick on 1 out of the 5 in the second round. We'll tell you who they got and what I think after this timeout. This coming up also after the break, we got the draft. We got some Penn State news, some Women's World Cup today, and also we'll talk about the distance trip. So take a break. This is the Low Rocket Show, Low Rocket Network. See you in a few minutes.